Scott Bywater here, and I just thought I'd shoot a quick Facebook Live about why, the segmenting of the email list is so critical. And the reason why it's so important is simply because, let me give you an example. Years ago, I did an email launch, and at the time I had about 7,500 people on my email list. Now, what the end result showed was fascinating when I actually dissected the numbers. I had a list of 200 people who had actually paid for a subscription. At the time, they were on a paid newsletter. And I received about 10 times the sales from those 200 who were on my paid newsletter as I received from the other 6,800 or so. It was phenomenal. So those 200 were highly valuable. Sorry, my the wind's got my thing that was standing up. So the 200 were highly valuable. They must have been 100 times more valuable than the other 6,800 or so that were on the list. So that's why the segmenting is just so critical. Now, another thing to keep in mind here with the with the email blasting is to start to tag your list. Now, I was talking to a company today who runs a solar business, and I said, we really need to go in and send a survey out and look at the answers from that survey and tag people, because think about it. If let's say someone owns a swimming pool, hypothetically, and you're selling your solar power, well, the fact is, if they tell you that they own a swimming pool, then you can start targeting them with emails along the lines of, important information about important energy cost information for people who own swimming pools. So you can zone in and you can target very specifically, in this sort of situation. So diving in and asking these questions is critical. If you could ask a question, for example, let's say you sell something to business owners, you're a website designer who sells something to business owners, well, you could quite simply ask the question, how many visitors a day do you get? Hey, Tamar, how are you? Good to see you here. You could ask the question, how many visitors a day do you get to your website? You could ask the question, or how many visitors a month? You could ask the question, around the factors of how many funnels you've got set up and this sort of thing. And then let's say you could take the people who are getting, who have, incidentally, they might have, they might be getting 1,000 visitors a day to their website, and you go, oh, they're a higher quality customer. So then you can segment them and you can approach them differently. And the businesses who are getting, let's say, 50 visitors a day, maybe you're selling information to them or sending emails to them around the concept of how to get more visitors to your website. And you've got traffic stuff. The people who have got 1,000 plus visitors to their day, a day to their website, you could be sending information to them about conversion, and an email starting with, for anyone who gets 1,000 visitors a day to their website, this is critical information, because just doing this one thing will increase your conversion rate by 15. Could increase your conversion rate by 15%. So you start to use this sort of data to get cut through, because think about it. Let's say we've all got I know I've got a shoulder injury, my left shoulder, and I've got a right ankle injury. Now, if I get an email along the lines of how to fix your shoulder injury, simple technique, I'm going to read that. But if I get an email about how to improve your health, some sort of generic email, I am far less likely, to do that. So this sort of specificity which you can give within your emails. Now, there's methods now which we're currently testing where we're actually asking the question around things like, for example, we're digging in and we're asking these sort of questions. So let's say you're a personal trainer. You could ask questions around the concept of, what's your problem area, within your body that you want to fix. And let's say I say something like, my stomach's a bit flabby. So now I can get emails directly about tightening up my stomach, and I can get emails directly about this is what you need to build up your core. Let's say they also know that I'm heading towards 40. Well, I could get very different emails, and they know I'm a man, so I can start to get emails now from people around the concept of, hey, this is critical if you're a man around the age of 40. It's critical because I can start to get emails about testosterone and boosting testosterone and how men get a bit fatter after 40. So I can get into the real specificity. And this is the power, and this is, I think, where marketing is going, heading forward, is into that sort of specificity. So really think about that within your business, is ask the question, how can I, if I knew more about my customers, could I start to sell them better? And then write down the questions which you would like them to be able to answer for you, so you could actually target them. Not only target them better, but help them better, because you've got that right sort of data and that right sort of information. Because we're all different, and if you're a 65-year-old man, or you're an 18-year-old student and you're looking into a memory course, you've got very different needs, and if I'm talking to you the same way, I'm going to miss one particular group. So the more data you can get and the more you can use your CRM to start to tag particular customer groups, the better the better the return on investment you're going to get, the better the open rate you're going to get on the emails, the better the click rate. If you start to do Facebook. Hey guys, I cut off there, sorry. So if you start to do Facebook custom audiences, what you can then do is you can take a particular group, let's say they're tagged as over 40 men, and you can start running ads along the lines of, hey, special information, important information about losing belly fat for men over the age of 40. And if I'm going to read, go, hey, this is for me, I'm going to click on greater response than the other 7,000 or so people, because they were higher quality people. So that's one thing which is really important to remember. The other thing we talked about was the importance of getting specifics and learning about the people who are on your email list. So learning about the people who are on there. So if you know that someone's an over 40, or that they've got belly fat, or they've got that's their number one issue, then you can zone in on them specifically and on their specific problem. And you can also then take it across to you can take those people who are tagged like that in your CRM system and pull it across into Facebook custom audiences and that sort of thing. Anyway, hope you enjoyed today. If you've got any questions or any comments or anything like that, fire away. And I'm off for now. Enjoy your weekend. Cheers.